Hello everybody, it is Kulipup once again, and today I want to talk to you about a blocked throat chakra point. Okay, and how we can actually, a couple of steps that we can use to clear this out and get our truth flowing as it should. Now, one of the reasons why I'm making this video is because many of us, as you've heard me say before many times, and I'll say it again at some point too, is that we are going through an awakening period. And some of us are just at the beginning, where we're just realizing the world around us, and others, we've been doing this for a little while, a few years, a few months, you know, whatever it may be. Now, within each level of awakening, there's a certain amount of speaking your truth that is, of course, a requirement, because we cannot evolve without being truthful to ourselves. And I do mean our true selves, our heart, our soul, our being, our spirit, our higher consciousness within our awareness. Now, everything does go through stages, of course. So, for example, the way I speak my truth is very, very precise, but I have a lot of energy to delve very, very deep into that truth to get that precision. Some of us may still be on the surface or kind of like midway through, but each time you are progressing and developing into a higher consciousness, you are going to have to go deeper into your truth. And sometimes when it comes time for this, we're just like, I'm already speaking the truth that I know, but yet my throat is still blocked, it's still cloudy. What the hell else do I need to say? I've done my inner work, I'm fulfilling my purpose as best as I can, but yet it's still bloody blocked. What's going on? So now, and of course it comes because it's now time to delve really deep into your own introspection. Not just the surface level of what you've been experienced within this life in itself, but now let's start expressing ourselves to who we are during the life in between lives, you know? Because just remember, you're an immortal soul. You do a lot of things when you're not incarnated. So now it's time to express those things too. So, all right, so those are the oftentimes when your throat chakra is going to feel blocked. Now, also, the basic concept of your throat chakra point is the energy coming in, that comes in, the emotions, the things that you see and experience will, of course, produce an experience and emotional responses and so forth, and your heart's development. And once that comes in, it's up to you to speak it, to release the energy at the same time. Because as we are all powerful beings, we are still energy, and energy needs to flow. It is not meant to be held and locked inside of you for eternity. Not at all. You're supposed to bring it in and let it go. And each time you bring it in, you learn a little bit more, you grow, and you let it out. And then you take in more the next time, and then so on the cycle proceeds. So, what to do when your throat chakra feels blocked? And you'll know it's blocked because some of us will get what feels like a little fishbone in our throat, that we try to clear our throat and it's just like, ow, this pain is there. It also feels like our windpipes, or just there's just compression going on inside our throats. We will find it hard to speak. We'll find it hard to speak our mind, you know, whereas we have something to say, we're like, we stop, right? Or we also may find that we have congestion, or we're constantly needing to clear our throat, and it's again because there is blockage there and we're not letting our expressions flow through. So, like I say, so there's two different kind of tricks and tips, or there's two different categories I'm going to go with today. The first one is just generally, if you are finding that you're like, I need to speak my truth, but I don't know what it is I'm supposed to say. Because everything I say, I constantly have this pain in my throat, or it's not coming out, but yet I've done the inner work, I've done everything, like why? Okay, and the next one is when you need to speak your truth in a specific manner. So for example, we're going to go through just the random overview, and then like, no, I need to speak truthfully on something very specific, but I don't know what it is I'm supposed to say specifically. Okay, so firstly, one of the things that we have to remember is that fear, or the blockage, comes when we start overthinking about what it is that we want to say, or with the expectation of what we think we should be saying in this moment. So for example, if you wanted to give somebody, or somebody asked you for some advice there, and you start thinking about it, you may be like, okay, this is sound advice, but yet my throat chakra point is still clouded. But I'm like, but this is the advice I normally give, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. So this is what we're going to do. So this is just, again, loosey-goosey to try to get everything flowing. Now, I may start to sing in this. And that is just because that is now my point of evolution that I need to go through for this example. You don't have to sing. You could just simply speak or write or do what it is that you need to do. However, I'm just giving you an example from my bit. So step one, okay, is calm your nerves. All right, you need to calm yourself down, because often, again, if we're in our heads and we're overthinking and we have an expectation of what it is we need to say, too much, that's not going to come out, especially when you don't know what it is you're supposed to say. How can you think of something you don't really understand or know what is going to come out? Of course there's going to be confusion and overthinking at that point. So calm your nerves, and I've got my list down here so I make sure I don't remember, so I'll be looking over here. So calm your nerves and breathe, and the intention that you need to set is not, oh, I need to get the information I need. Nah, it's just leave it open. It's like, you know what, I just want clarity, right? So, clarity. I'm verbalizing the intention. You can just simply feel it as well. So that's step one. Step two, you're going to start speaking random words or noises or anything, because you need to loosen up your vocals at this time. So what I will do is I'll be like, okay, just whatever it is, just let whatever sound wants to come out, let it come out, right? Because oftentimes we don't do that. What we speak is something so of the thoughts that we wanted to speak, rather than just letting random noises come out. You'll find that they do this in singing sometimes, vocal practices, although they're a little bit more specific. Step three is to connect to your heart space. So I'm calm, now I'm going to feel my heart at the same time. Make sure I have those beautiful vibrations and those beautiful tingles inside my heart, so I know that whatever is about to come out next is from here. Not from up here, not from over there, or whatever energy or emotion wants to come in. It's coming right from my heart space, which is where the truth is. Okay? Now, number four, you are going to enjoy what comes out. Okay? Whatever that may be, enjoy it. Even if what comes out is just, F this, I can't stand it, blah, 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 blah. Enjoy the expression. Nobody likes poop, right? But everybody really enjoys taking a good poop. Right? So it's not about the poop, it's about expressing it and letting it go. So enjoy it. Now, I'm not saying that everything is going to be frustration or anger that comes out. Sometimes it's just, I just want some cookies, you know, and that's what needed to come out, because perhaps you were denying yourself cookies for so long, right? So whatever it is, just enjoy the expression and enjoy the feeling of release. So this is, for example, so calming with the intention of clarity. I want to say the things that come through to my heart's space and desires, yet it feels like I can be so incredibly fearful at times, but not truly, because what I really want to say is what feels good to me, and to me that is freedom and singing and being in joy and love and laughter. There you go. Now, as you've noticed, within that point, if you are, because this is at that moment when you're flowing, so you may forget everything that you've said because you're just in the moment. So you can record yourself or write things down as you're doing it, if that's the way you want to, just so you can go back and just be like, oh, that's what it was. I get it now. I understand this now. Or whatever comes through. And that's just what came through for me in that moment. So there you go. And keep doing that. And I know it seems like really trivial. You're like, really, is that all you need to do? But yeah, keep doing it. And you'll find that the messages are going to come through stronger and more fierce within your heart. And it's going to feel really, really good. Now, second one is how to speak your truth specifically. Okay? Now, this is again where you're going to have your throat chakra point may be like nice and clear for a lot of things, but then you come into a specific topic or a specific feeling that just hits you and you're just like, what is this? Why can't I identify this? What is going on? And it's like you may have brought out your tarot cards, your pendulum, you may have brought out every tool that you have to try to discover this, and it's just like, it's not coming through. So this is what we can do. Now, again, with staying in a nice calm place, step one is to focus, okay? We are going to focus on our heart space, be calm, and feeling is the most important when it comes to this practice, okay? Because whenever we're going with specifics, if we got a lot of information coming in, it can be really, really difficult. So we've got to really focus on the feeling right here. Next, so step two is to focus on the feeling and describe what it is that you feel. Without judgment, without, expectations or anything. Simply just the same way if I were to say, describe what you see right here. You'd say, I see a jar. It is a glass jar with a black lid. It's got water in it. The water's shaking a little bit. It's clear water. It's not murky. You're just simply, that's all you're doing is describing what it is that you're feeling. Now, what you may feel may be beautiful tingles and vibrations in your heart space. Describe that. What you may feel is a little blockage, right? You may feel like, I feel pain. I feel pain right above my heart space, or right over here, or something. Describe that pain. It feels like a light buzzing. Sit with it. Feel it for a moment, right? And just be like, okay, why? What is this? And sometimes you're going to be able to identify that really quickly. You're going to be like, I know this pain. It feels like sadness because I've been depressed before and I know what that feels like, right? Or you'll be like, I know this. It feels like loneliness. I feel so lonely by just sitting and feeling, right? Sitting and feeling. So now if you are unable to identify it and you're just like, I don't know what this is, then we move on to step three, is to simply ask why. Because when you are connected to your heart space, if you've got the feeling here and you're just like, I feel this pain here, why? Wait. And you're going to find that the connectivity gives you the answer. Now, if I was sitting and feeling myself, I'd be like, what do I feel right now? Well, right now I feel right up here. It's not directly in my heart space. It's like, feels like a block going into my, going up to my throat chakra point, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I've not identified who's around me or whether this is my neighbor or whether this is my kids or whether this is internally yet, because this is just an example. But that's what I'm feeling. And I'm like, it feels dull. Sharp and dull at the same time, as if somebody was pressing a knife flat against my chest, but then the side of it just feels a little sharper, like, ooh, that's going to cut in there a little bit harder. And so I'm going to be like, well, why do I feel like this? Sit and wait. And the connectivity comes more so right here. I start to feel it more in my chest or deeper in my chest. And then that tells me, I'm like, okay, well, what does that feeling feel like? Heavy. Heavy, as if somebody's just pushing on my chest. So I'll be like, okay, I'm feeling heavy on my chest. It doesn't feel good. And if somebody was pushing, just think if somebody was pushing on my chest, I'd be like, I feel suppressed. As if somebody's trying to push me back and suppress me. So I'm like, okay, calm. And then why? And then the energy folds back over here. And then I can feel it's because of that fear. And in this moment, you can combine this with the first step, which is, okay, let me clear my vocals. Why? Ask the question, why? Feel it. Loosen up my vocals. The fear comes from the neglect of my source and my being in terms of my seeing. And this is from the entity of fear and dread and doom that is underneath my building. It comes from the fear of the entity of the man in the next room. Over there. So you can see that for me, I combine a lot of things, because when I speak in channel, I let my head go into the places, and my hand is going in places going that way. So now I know what I'm feeling. And I know, in this instance, I know, it is not me that I'm feeling this. It is my neighbor who is lacking expression in their heart, right? And I can delve into this a little bit more. But as I do, I'm finding my throat chakra point, it's relaxed, right? Now I just have to make a decision as to what I'm going to do with my neighbor. Do I wish them well from a distance, or do I want to go knock on their door? But in this moment, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them a bit of my energy to help get them through this and wish them well without disturbing them. So, but what you're going to do though is step 4, if you're, that's me and my neighbor. But for you, you're going to keep describing what you feel, and you feel the direct connection with, and you keep going until you feel the direct connection with your heart and your source. So you follow the breadcrumb trail, and each time you do it, it's going to ping in different places, and each time you're going to get closer and closer and closer to your heart. Okay? So keep feeling. Keep doing that, and you'll find that once you get there, you can breathe easy. This is like a muscle. Work it on a regular daily basis. The more you work it, the stronger it gets, the faster you get to clarity, and the faster you get that fishbone out your throat, or the condensing part. Anyway, I hope that helps. I love you to pieces, and let's clear our throat chakras out. Bye, guys.